Alright, so hello and welcome everyone. Today I'll be working more on PureScript IDEs. Well, PureScript IDE, which is the language server for PureScript. Yesterday, well, in the night probably, I got started with this, and today I want to get it to a point where I can actually test it and try it out. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to run parts of the desugaring pipeline of the compiler on individual files, or maybe I can do this even more granular. Maybe I can do this even more granular so that I can maybe just desugar a single declaration. And the idea is that this way we can get more precise, go to definition and type information, because we can actually like figure out shadowing and stuff, because that's pretty hard to do if you don't have the compiler. How? Yeah, well, I could get to work on the stuff I want to do, or I could just let people ask for stuff they want. Okay, so let me actually rather try and see if the stuff I did yesterday still works. So do I have... Okay, so this is how I'm running this thing. Wait a second, that's not how I'm running this thing. I also need the tests project. Right now you can't do should equals and then go to should equals and do completion on it. Sorry. What's that? What? Okay, so let's try to load language.purescript.ide.test. Yes. That's probably the next plugin. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so now I should be able to compile the test project. That seems good. And now if I run the script, we get back a bunch of stuff. And this is kind of barely readable. And I have an idea on how to make that better. Am I, like, can you hear me talk and at the same time I still write to you? Is that, because that would be kind of silly. So I can try this out actually. Let's just do that then. I have created a desugar.pers file here, which I'm using to test the stuff I'm doing right now. And so, do I have anything in fix here? Not really, but it doesn't matter because I can just check that that works. Okay, so I'm going to pick the right project root to start the server in. So it's inside tests import desugaring right here. Okay, so 9 modules and 9 source files. Okay, so now if I do, if I open up the IDE server tab in here, okay, so that's what we do. And then if I type okay, so if I type my param type, that totally works for me. I don't know what kind of, okay, so do I have anything lowercase that I could complete here? Okay, so apparently I have a const function, so if I type const, there we go, so that seems to work for me. Yeah, okay, so okay, so you have a bunch of lag. Well, one thing I can do is I can say, I think I need to stop the recording for that, but then try to reduce the latency, and which is gonna be a bit like make the quality worse, but okay, so I'm back. Now it should be like the delay should be less. Okay, let's see if the delay is less now. I'm using my other keyboard today. Not really. I'm doing a lot of typist. Okay, so let's see though. That's better. Okay, so I'll get rid of this. Get rid of this. Okay. All of you can go away. Okay, so yeah, so just now tried that out, and it didn't seem to have made a difference. Like it seemed to just work. So I'm just going to assume it works. And if I can reproduce the failure, then I will try to fix it. Okay, so that's like, well, that's like 15 seconds maybe then, or maybe 20, but I guess it's still enough to answer a question, to get some level of interactivity at least. Okay, so what I was actually doing over here is I am starting like this run the IDE thing. I'm starting I'm running like a function from the IDE server, and I'm making it load all the modules. I should probably actually use load sync here. Yeah, that's better. And then I do, I read the file that I'm interested in, and this in project just makes sure that I'm in the project root of the project where I put my desugar test file, and then I parse that file, ignoring any errors. I import the prim module that needs to be done explicitly so that these references are not like missing or something. And then I do, and then this write function is like run IDE tick or something. So maybe I should just call that run IDE tick. I'll find a better name for this. I'll extract this into like a module which is explicitly meant to be used from from GHCI, which is like the interactive REPL for Haskell, or GHC in particular, which is the compiler. Yeah, and so yeah, so I add the import to the prim module, which holds definitions for stuff like int or array or string, and then I grab from the state that I got after running run IDE, I grab the external files and I sort them. Yeah, again, this is a function that runs inside PSID and the PSID context, so I need to run IDE on it. And then I run the desugar import function, which is the way the compiler does the name resolution. And the result is what we get over here, which is pretty illegible right now, but I was just about to make it so that it's not that bad anymore. So there's a proper name somewhere in here, and I'm just looking that up. That might actually be a new type, because it's just about over text, I think. New type, proper name. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, so new type, proper name. And again, this has a derived show instance, but I'm just going to write a version of this which is not which is less verbose, let's say. I'm going to get rid of this again, like this is not what I want to keep around. So I'm going to pattern match on the, well, actually I'm just going to say run proper name. And then we need to t.unpack that. I'm going to run that, and then I'm going to unpack it, so t.unpack. Does that work? Seems good. Let's make sure that actually works. Refresh my stuff. And run the script again. And now we get to, okay, so the module name is still a bit annoying. Okay, so module name prim. Okay, so let's do module name as well. Yeah. Module name. New type module name, there we go. So we'll do the same thing. We'll just write a handwritten show module name instance. Where, and with this time we're going to do show is equal to t.unpack after we run module name. Run module name, there we go. Again, let's try this out. The script again, and does it work? Module, desugar, import declaration, primitives, import declaration. Wait, what? I don't see qualified, just import spec. Maybe. Yeah, so that seems to have worked, I think. Module, desugar. Oh yeah, so that's the module name. Okay, so it's just, yeah, so it's just outputting the module name now. Maybe I should make it a little more obvious what's going on here. So let's just see if we can do that. So do that and then say this is a module name. So we'll just wrap that up in parens maybe. Put a bit of a space here. I think that should be fine. Type checks, let's reload. Oh yeah, yeah, I'm not doing music. I'll actually talk this time around. So yeah, so now I get module name prim, so that's good. Not doing music this time. I'll actually try to explain what's going on. There used to be some fairly quiet metal music before. Sorry. Try to actually explain. Okay, so let's get back to the business. Okay, so yeah, so this is a little easy to see what's going on because as soon as the files get a bit more complicated, because I want to make sure, that's the wrong file, because I want to make sure that that this can probably handle like recursive stuff. So I want to make sure that I don't need to run previous passes in the desugaring pipeline before this works. So yeah, so I'll start this up again. I think I don't actually need to shut it down because I'm not starting this up on a port in my test script. I'm just running Haskell code actually. Okay. So let's try to not get distracted that much. Okay. So let's try doing something recursive. See if that still works. So let's define. I don't think I have a prelude here. What do I have? Just wondering. What's a recursive function I can just define without using any of the... Oh, I can just define in my own list, whatever. So I'll just do list a is equal to either cons a list of a or nil. Right, and then I can say, well, head. No, head is boring. Second head. So second head is, and then do head as well. No, that doesn't work because these are not recursive. Okay, let's define filter on list A. So I'll take predicate, which is function from A to Boolean, and list of A, and I'll list of A, and I'll return another list of A, and then I'll implement that. So that's F. Let's do pattern, and that's the list. So let's call it L. And then we'll do. No, actually we can do case underscore of. So if we're dealing with nil, well, that's just nil. And if we're dealing with cons x and x's, we're going to say if f of x then x, cons x and filter f x's, else we're just going to filter f x's. Maybe we can float this out. Let's just say let rest is equal to, and we'll take this part and call it rest. And then we'll say in cons rest, otherwise it's just the rest. Rest. And that should be fine. And apparently the compiler is not happy because I forgot to introduce my type variables. I wrote a bit too much in Haskell. Name f was shadowed. Am I shadowed? Yeah, of course. So let's just call that pred instead because it's a predicate. Okay. And this is also pred. Build again. Okay, now it builds. So now if I go over here, and run the script, I get an error. Error in module, unknown name, ident name pred. Well, it's introduced here, right? So that should be fine. Okay, so the desugaring is running into errors, and that's probably because I'm not running all the passes before the one that I'm, like the desugaring of imports. So let's go into, let's actually find the original use of desugaring imports, which is here. See all the passes that we need to do before that. So map desugar let pattern module. Let's start. So the first thing we're doing apparently is desugaring signed literals. Then we desugar object constructors, do modules, let patterns, case modules, and type declarations module. Okay, so all of these with the traverse in front actually work just fine in a single module apparently. But which of these is the one that we're missing? This is the cases. So we're not desugaring cases. Well, let's say we just take this and make our own little mini desugar. And then we'll see. So we need to import all of these. Okay, so I can just say p dot here. Okay, so this thing takes externs as its input. Right, and then variable not in scope, forward compose. Really? Where's that coming from then? Control that category, okay. Let's import that. There we go. So that seems to compile, and now instead of running desugar imports, I'll run mini desugar. That apparently requires more. Okay, so mini desugar needs a monad supply as well. One of these needs a monad supply. Okay, so let's do that as well. So we'll need to do run supply t in front of this, and I think it's just as I can just say 0 or something. And again, I need p. Does that work? Run supply t. Let's find out where that is defined. Okay, it gives you back an integer as well. We don't want that one, so we'll do eval supply t instead. See if that works out. p.eval supply t. Okay, it doesn't like it. Maybe we need to move it in here. Yes, okay. So it just didn't have like the type class definitions were not. Okay, so it just doesn't have like a monad errors instance, and so we need to run it before we run the run except t, I think. But we're fine. Okay, so let's see if that works now. And then we'll need to probably do some benchmarking to make sure that we can actually run all of these desugaring steps. Okay, so that works fine. One problem is that I'm not sure if we keep all the position information that we care about in here. But we'll find out, I guess. And that's, well, a lot of stuff, and I'm just scanning to see if there's more of these mn desugar. And I think this is, yeah, we're a bind x, so it desugared that to also point at the module desugar. So I think we should be good with this. Now I'd like this to run on a single module instead. So where all these maps and traverses are going on, I'll remove these. And then I need to write a version of desugar imports which works on a single module. Right. So is there a good reason why this only works on a list of them? It seems update and so it seems like it needs all of the modules to be inside the environment. Wait, why is it not enough to have the extents for that? Isn't the only thing you really need... Wait a second, what's update and doing here? rename module, env module. This is the function I care about. But I'm not sure. Huh. And this is the one that I really care about, rename module. But that operates inside a monad state used imports. So I also need to supply that one. How would I go about that? Interestingly, this, oh wait, no, the paru, I think it's just to collect errors, it's not actually parallelizing. So, module to module, this is the function I want. But in order to run it, I need some context apparently. I need the env, this one over here. So where's that coming from? Rename and modules tick. Rename module tick over here, env tick happens from, okay, so the reverse only operates on the modules thingy, so I can just ignore that part. This is the interesting one, fold map, this is fold m, so that's, what's that? Yeah, it's the monadic fold anyway. And then I update the environment with a starting environment which is created from the externs. So these externs probably don't contain the module that I want to. I think I see where this is coming from and why it is doing it like this, because this is more efficient in a sense, because it only creates the end for these extern files once and then runs every module against that. But I don't see why it inserts all of the modules that I pass to it. Can't I create the end for these once and then just run it over each module? Why do I insert all of them? That's a bit weird. Is it maybe because I don't have external files for some of the modules potentially at this point, like in the usual compiler runner? Yeah, probably, because the external files get generated when the compiler is finished. So in here I might need to handle multiple modules because I might have not compiled a module, like I might have added 2 modules at once, and like both of these still need to be able to refer to one another even though I haven't generated external files for any of them yet. So this is fine. I think that I can extract a version of this, which is like break parts of this out, which is more, not actually more efficient, but it's smarter about the conditions that PureScript's has, in the sense that I don't need to deal with this situation where I have multiple modules at once. I think that's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to ignore that problem for now. I'm just going to have this operate on a list of modules and then just supply just one over here. And so, okay, so what I end up with here after I've done this is a value which is a write and then a list of modules. So let's extract that. So we'll do write. We just get back a single module, as far as I can tell at least. And then we do pure m. Right. What's the problem here? Am I shadowing anything? Oh yeah, I'm shadowing. This is renamed. Oh, let's call it desugared, actually. And then we'll say desugared. Okay. And once we're at a point where I'm happy with this, and I think this looks good because as far as I can tell, yeah, that's just a module. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to be able to say, okay, this is a module. I want to query this for a source position. give me the thing that is at the source position. It's not going to work for types, unfortunately, because these don't have any. But maybe I can be smart about that as well. Maybe. Just maybe. Okay, let's see. So what we want to do is we want to say, and I have written some code about this stuff. That I should be able to use here. Because I got back a module from here, and then I should be able to index that because I wrote code that indexes stuff. And maybe I can pull these things together and use them. Okay, so I'll create a module for this stuff. So I'll create one in the main project basically from here. So source, language, PureScript, IDE, and then I'll call this one, what do I call this? IDE desugar. No, that's not. That's a bad name. I'll call this index actually. Do I do that? No, I don't. Is this indexing? No, this is finding. This is resolving names in source, in modules. It's kind of a desugaring thing. There's also finding. What do I call this one? Naming is always the hardest part. I'll just call it desugar for now, and I'll figure out about the names. Okay, so let's say module language PureScript's IDE desugar where, and I'll paste this code in there, get rid of this one. Okay, so none of this stuff's going to work. Import a protolude. Control writer. For writer T. And then I'll import language.PureScript as P. I need to call it that. Okay, so run IDE. Okay, so this is where we get into a bit of trouble because this. Well, we don't get into trouble. No, we don't. What do we get into here? So this code, the code in here is supposed to be run inside the server anyway. So I wouldn't need this because this would already have access to the state. But then I'd need to hide it behind. Do I? Oh, that's curious. I'm just thinking if I need to hide this code behind a command, or if there's a way for me to continue playing around with it without needing to go through the server interface. And I feel like I actually can't put the code here if I want to do that. Because then I need to, yeah, this code doesn't live here. It stays here. And I'll find a good place for it soon. Okay, so then now I have this empty file, which is probably going to cause some trouble during building, so I should probably get rid of that one. So desugar, and I'm going to delete this file. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I have a script here. I need to pull some code out of another branch that I have, or maybe I can just. Well, I'd like to use this code, or I'd like to probably get this code merged without having to merge the first one, because that code is, well, just put it under the IDE namespace, I guess, and then I own it, and that's fine. Yeah, I think I'll just do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I will stage all of this stuff, and then I'll stash it. Okay, so let's make a new branch. Let's say I'm moving off to desugar, and I will fetch rebase code from AST_index, which has the indexing code that I care about, which allows me to go from a source span to a node in the AST, hopefully. And then I should be able to pop the stash from here. Okay, that seems to have worked. And now inside IDE test, let's see what happens if I go over here and I say, now let's import, just do AST dot, and I think I'll call it index. See what happens. Because I have a feeling that this, yeah, okay, so Intero for one doesn't like this, the editor integration, because it now needs to rebuild a whole bunch of stuff. It's probably stuck somewhere, so I'll do, I'll just run the tests fast. Wait, I can just do test, this one, which is going to build the whole thing, and then I know what's going on. And while this is going, I will actually just get myself some coffee. Okay, so the coffee is just brewing. I'll have to check that in a second. Non-type variable argument. Flexible contexts. Did I do something wrong? So just try it. I know that flexible instances is used commonly. I don't know about this one. Let's see what happens, I guess. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Okay, so this time apparently it got through, so flexible context it is. I guess would be nice to figure out what that actually means, but not right now. Just make sure the type, the test suit still works, and then we'll take a look. Okay, so that stuff still seems to work. Okay, now I have imported the index here. I should be able to say, give me an index for the desugared module. I think that's called build index for module. Is that true? Well, it seems to compile. So that should give me back an index now. And now over here, I'll just get me back my REPL so I can try it out. So that should give me back an index. And then it's because you used a non-type variable in the context. You mean non-star kind of? I guess it's because I'm using this M here. Is that the thing? Like class name, type name instead of class name, type variable. Not sure I can follow. I'll figure it out, I think. Probably makes sense. Type name instead of type variable. But all of these are just variables. There's no concrete type in here. Right? Hope this isn't too loud. I'm sorry for the noise. It is. Huh, okay. I see. Well, I'm not seeing myself doing that anyway here, but maybe it wasn't. No, the arrow is thrown around here. Probably inverted somewhere, or one of these does it. I don't know. Not really a problem for me. Okay. So if I run script, that's probably going to be huge. The output that generates. Yes, it is. I'm gonna write there we go. Okay. I see. That makes sense now. Okay. So one thing that annoys me is that, again, I won't be able to the output is crazy. Whatever. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, let's bind that to the ix variable. Now there's a bunch of functions that I can use to query that index. And this is based on a paper I recently found. Not sure if I faithfully implemented the thing, but I don't care. I think it seems to work. And then I have this find covering DFI, which is, it finds the node that covers the span I gave to it, the narrowest. It gives me back a DFI, which is the depth first index, which I use to index all the nodes in the AST, and then I can use that to find the thing I care about. Except I have not written a thing that just finds the value at this DFI. So maybe I should write that one just really quickly. So get node for DFI, I guess. Takes an index, and a DFI gives you back a node. Well, gives you back maybe a node. And now I think node is, okay, so node does not take a type parameter, so that should be fine. Okay, so we have an index and a DFI, right? And what we do is we do list to maybe. Have I imported the protolute here? Yes, I have, so that should be available. So I'll do list to maybe, and I'll do filter. Let's just look at this really quickly. Okay, so these are all vectors of indexed somethings. I think I can go, how do I go into node? I do these things. Okay. For one, I really don't want it to give me a module back. I'm just wondering if it's also... Oh. Well, actually, I'm not worried about that one. I'll just specify the type I expect for now, and then maybe that's gonna work out. Okay, so I need to specify source span that I want covered. So let's do find covering DFI for the index. Source position. Okay, so what's the? Let's ask for this filter. Let's ask for this filter. So I need the I need the line number and colon number. Okay, so that's 11, 18. And I think I need this in 0 base, so that would be 12, 19. Sorry, 10, 17. And I want that twice, so I'll do these two. Okay, and now we get into the point where it gets silly to type these things out again, because it's better to just write them down in the script thingy over here. Right, so I'll do give me the IX. That's this part, so I'll just put that in there, and then let IX is equal to this. Just get remove the parens here. Don't need that. Don't need to find. Get back here. Okay. So source pose, and I'll extract this into my filter position. Is this? And now I'll do my filter position. I'll do that again, and that should give us back maybe a DFI. So that's, yeah, that should be good. Let's see what we get here. And that probably, why is this not showing any errors? I have a feeling that this should error, because again, this needs to be a p.source position, I think. We'll see. Okay, so I'll reload the stuff. That seems to have come out fine. Okay, it didn't. But the error is just not, oh god, it's right up here. So content, yeah, of course, that's yeah. But apparently it was able to resolve this stuff, so that's a good sign, I guess. So we reload, and there we have IDE test, and if I run this script, it gives me the DFI node 28. Okay. Number 28. So let's see, is there some way for me to easily get that back? Do I have a function for that? Go to some. Okay, so I'll have to filter these things using this. Okay, so we'll grab the expressions from the index, and then we'll, so let's put that up there so we can see what we're doing while we're doing it, and then go in the test module over here. Okay, so that's going to give us, again, I'm cheating a little bit here. I'll say DFI is equal to that. I'll say just here, so there's a bunch of partial petameters in here because this is just experimentation and scripting. Okay, so we'll grab the expressions. So we'll do, we'll grab the expressions from our index, and now we need data vector. I'm not sure if we have that in the tests. We'll see in a second. So that's going to be vector as v. Right. Okay. Now I want to v.filter, and I'll say I want to filter on the DFI being equal to. And now, so what do we need to do? We need to get the IX DFI. After we got, it should just be IX DFI, right? And again, we'll just, no, that don't work. We just need to wrap this up in pure so that it actually type checks. So that's our work. Okay, seems to have worked. Screw you. Doesn't find anything. So it's probably not an expression then. Is it a binder that it finds? Huh. Let's do it again. There you go, it's a binder. So that this points to access. Interesting. So it found the wrong span then probably. Yeah, it found it over here. That's a bit weird. That's 1010. Hate? Screw you. There was no hate. I just said I'm not the one that's going to do it. I didn't hate anyone. Okay, so apparently it finds a binder. So that source position is wrong. Okay, so let's try 1117 then, I guess. See what's happening. It still finds. What the heck? How does that work? What? I just changed this, right? Go to line 12. Okay, now it doesn't find anything anymore. Okay, so let's start tracing some stuff out just to see what's going on here. So we'll do trace show am for this, and we'll do this 3 times. We're not just get the binders, we'll get the expressions as well, and let's get the declarations while we're at it. Right. Then we'll also trace show the DFI. That should just be enough. Okay. Okay, so what do we have now? Oh, is the first thing the column and the second one the line? Did I screw this up? Maybe I did. Maybe I did. Covers, index spans. Okay, so this is the index, right? Why does it ignore the index? If it doesn't care about it, I might as well remove it, right? Right. Oh, no, right, no. Stupid. I say index here. Then I filter. And then I do last, and then I grab the first element. Yeah, so the index is important, yeah. Because I need to get, man, not the actual index, but the covers appears not to be working. So the start needs to be bigger. No, it needs, that's just the wrong way, right? the thing I want to cover needs to start before this. So the start of this thing needs to be bigger than, yeah, and this one, right? I think so. Okay, so this is a little, I want to find the filter thing. So let's just keep prodding until we find it. So the second one is the expression. So this time we found the expression x, which seems to hint at this line, which is a little weird because, wait a second, when I went into line 11 it didn't. Now it finds x as 17. Let's do, this is starting to be a little silly. Let's do this. Take two arguments here, x, y, x, and y, and then we can poke and prod at it without having to reload all the time here. Script, so you say 11, 17 was the wrong one. Give me 12, 17. Give me 11, 10. Where is that? Still x's. 11, 9. I'm just confused now. Is there some way for me to, okay. I'm just gonna try to show the expression. That's gonna be a huge thing, but whatever. I don't know how to do it otherwise. Okay, so, yep. Okay. Right. So I'll just grab all of this. Come on. And I'll copy it until down here. Holy crap. Okay. Okay, so let's move into the scratch buffer and do some. Oh. That's not true. Let's do test. Okay. So Emacs is not really happy about this, that's for sure. So how many indexed are there? Indexed. Okay, so there's a couple of indexed in here. So I'll try to do a macro. Okay, so I'll say find indexed. And then go back and put in a new line. And then go forward so we'll find the next one. Try it. Seems to work. So I've done that 10 times. Okay, so down here we get into the interesting bits. Okay. Try this 10 more times, and 10 more times, 10 more times, 10 more times. Okay, so we're done. Alright, I see, we are done. So now what happens if I search for filter? Okay, so I'm looking for the narrowest one, which is probably this one. Right, and that's it has a DFI of 38. So I'm pretty close here, because this is 42. But when I reach 42, which is X is down here. Okay, so maybe I can reproduce how this went just from looking at it. Okay. So this is depth first index. So how do we get here? Pred. Okay, so this is interleaved with position values, as you can see, but I'm definitely right in here when I'm hitting this thing, right? And it's like the first thing we saw is filter, then we saw pred, then we saw x's. So that's how it progresses. And here I'm getting 42, so it's like, yeah, you are hitting x's. Which is a little weird because, I mean, 9, that's totally not the line I'm in here. How do I get the current line number without making this, I need to make it big apparently. So this is 1128. I think something with my comparison logic is wrong. That's probably the problem here. Maybe I'll actually have to look up the source position instance for comparison, because that might be broken for our liner. Right. Okay, so we're getting a derived order instance here. Is that the right way to go about things? Is the derived one going to be the right one? It's going to compare, is it going to compare this one first? And the one with the bigger line number obviously is the bigger one. And if these are equal, then well, I think that should work. I guess I could try it out, just to be sure. What if I do source position of 10 and 10? Is that smaller than source position of 11 and 10? It should be false. That should be true. 10 and 9 should be wrong. Okay, so apparently that works, so I shouldn't worry about that one. Okay, so why is this not working the way I expected it to then? And I guess now that I know what node I need to hit, I can just fish for it. Maybe I should just do that. Let me just go into my test file, not trace this one anymore. Yeah, just this one. So I want to hit the DFI 30. Where is it? Over here. I want to hit the DFI 38. So let's do 2. Oh no. Need to reload stuff. 12.2. 42 still. So apparently it just ignores this thing. 42, 11, 0, 28, 11, 19, still 28, 25, 38. Okay, so I just hit filter. Okay, so it's 1125. So let's see if that makes any sense. 1125. Where am I here? This is exactly, wait, 1125 is pred. Filter is 1118. What happens if I do 1127? Do I hit pred? Yes, I do. Okay, I see. I think I understand what's going on. Well, obviously it's not the one error, because that's one of the problems that never goes away, no matter how functional the code is. And this is not very functional code anyway. But okay, so there is an indexing problem here. So this index needs to be -1 apparently. Is that true? I guess I could just do that. And then I'm happy with it. It's not actually true there, right? Because it's not just 1, it's off by 2. It's not just the index problem, it just picks the wrong one apparently. It picks one. Picks the last, it filters all of them that cover this thing, but it picks the last one. It should be the narrowest one. How is this happening? Is the saucepan generation wrong? That might very well be. Let's just see where I'm doing the saucepan stuff over here. Well, anyway, doesn't matter. The important part and the fun part is that we found just module named desugar. So apparently it found the right like it did actually resolve the module name for this one. Do I have my just? Let's try to hit that one. Oh, come on, how do I make it show me the damn? Okay, so it's 15.5 and the next one is 15.12, so I'll just try to hit 15.12 and see if I get the right one. So 15 and 12, and that hits my just, which is from import spec 1, so nice, seems to work. The renaming pass is qualifying these expressions, or like these identifiers, with the modules they're coming from, and we can use that to tell the user basically. And this respects shadowing properly. So there's definitely an improvement over the current state where we just take the string and just search for it in all the modules that are imported, but of course that doesn't work for shadowing and stuff. Now if I take this a bit further, I could try running the type check on it and see if I can still do this thing and actually get back the types of expressions. That could be very interesting, but first I want to find out why there's like these off by 1 errors. I'll figure that out first. But I'll not do that today. I think I'm happy with the progress I made. This looks nice, looks interesting. So, thank you very much for watching. I'll do more of this probably tomorrow. Yeah, maybe tomorrow. If you like me explaining these things, please let me know, because then I'll continue doing that. Or if you just prefer getting some music, let me know that as well, and I'll stop rambling. Thank you very much. Have a great day, please.